Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's program presented by Panda Sups, we got the Raiders news and storylines heading into NFL Week 9 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you do not know, use code Raiders for 25% off to be able to get the best workout supplements on the market from Panda Sups. Let's go to the very first storyline that I am looking for as a Raiders fan, and this isn't going to be one that I think the national media talks about. I don't think it's going to be one that a lot of people outside of Raider Nation talk about. I want to see a team that shows me heart. I want to see a team that still believes in themselves. I want to see a team that shows me that you can make proper adjustments from a player and coaching standpoint, because what I have seen from this Las Vegas Raiders team over the past 3 weeks is a team that doesn't give a shit. It's a football team that has given up on a coaching staff. It's a football team that honestly looks completely lost, like I haven't never seen a Raiders team lost before. I spoke with a lot of people over the weekend, and I've been saying this coaching staff right now, where Raider Nation is at, I think more people have more confidence in AP and Telesco, Josh McDaniels, Ziegler, than what this current staff has. But when you look at the last 3 games, I know the Raiders won against the Tennessee Titans, but if you actually watch that game, they could have easily, and I mean that, easily lost that football game. So outside of the worst team in the NFL, if we're talking about teams that are actually playoff caliber teams where I hope the Raiders can get to, you got your shit pushed in 40-6 against the Indianapolis Colts, and you're lucky you only lost 31-0 to the Kansas City Chiefs because they decided to bench their starters before the fourth quarter even happened. But let's look at these past 3 weeks, because these are stats that only an NFL team that is absolutely positively quit can put up. Points, it's not even close. Total yards, disgrace. First downs is laughable, and luckily you got 24 first downs against the Tennessee Titans, or else this number would be much worse. Turnovers, cool. Time of possession average, it is what it is, but I really want you to look at the points, the total yards, the first downs. This is an offense that can't get anything going, and it's an offense that looks lost. It is a defense that looks lost. It is a team that shows absolutely no heart. So with that being said, here's where I got to know from y'all. What's your confidence level in the Raiders this week? Because with a bye week, you're hoping that you make those proper adjustments. Good coaching staffs will make the adjustment. Good overall organizations will make the adjustment. And we're going to really, truly find out what type of staff we have going into this Week 9 game. Because if they lay another stinker, if you thought I was mad before, it's just going to get worse and worse. That I can guarantee you. So let me know down below. Scale it from 1 to 10. What's your confidence level in the Raiders this week? My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I'll sit up here and I will go, I am a 5 on my Raiders confidence level. And that's way higher than I ever imagined I would say going into the Raiders bye week. I'm confident because you had a bye week. You got experienced coaches. Let's put some of that experience to the test and show that you're not just boomers, that we can make those proper adjustments. Let's go to storyline number 2 here. Will Jakobi Meyers get traded this week, or, will any Raiders players get traded this week? The NFL trade deadline is November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I am recording this video on a Tuesday, and literally 1 week from today, no more trades are going to be allowed. There was a report that came out from Jordan Schultz around Jakobi Meyers, and he was kind of illustrating that multiple teams have shown interest in Jakobi, final year of his contract, but then he threw out that the fact that the Raiders are looking for that day 2 pick. Day 2 pick means round 2. It means round 3. I do know that obviously Jakobi wants to get dealt. I don't think the Raiders want to move on from him because, again, you're talking their investments. Their investments, Geno, Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, they need to make sure that those investments work. Moving off of Jakobi Meyers isn't the best way to do that. But still, because the NFL trade deadline is right around the corner, because we've seen things happen and the NFL is super unpredictable, anything can happen. Here's what I do know, though. I hope that you guys are subscribed, and I hope that you tune in with me because I will be live. I'm not going to be live all day next Tuesday, but I'm going to be live for several hours. I think that I'm going to try to be live somewhere around 11 a.m. my time, so noon Eastern, which means that I'll be live for at least 4 to 5 hours for NFL trade deadline coverage. If you are a big-time Raiders fan, make sure you subscribe. It's going to be a lot of fun next Tuesday because deadlines make deals. And even if the Raiders don't do anything, there will be a lot of trades that happen next Tuesday. So let's keep it moving here with our storylines around the Las Vegas Raiders here, because, again, you're going into Week 9. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team who also, by the way, that was a team that they also are coming off a bye. So the fact that they're also coming off a bye, the Raiders and Jags, both teams that had time to prepare. I don't want people to just think like, oh, the Raiders had the extra week. Jacksonville also had that extra week. The third storyline that I'm really looking at here is Brock Bowers, and I hope that he's healthy. I hope that he's out there on the field, and I hope that he makes a big impact. Jokingly, it's like in all honesty, like I'm crazy when I say this, but imagine if Brock Bowers was the reason why our offense has been struggling as bad as it's been, because our offense has been terrible. Brock this season, if you drafted him in fantasy, I'm sorry if I gave you that advice. I did not anticipate that he was going to have that knee injury, which really zapped his ability. And let's face it, it's been a major setback since that Week 1 game. 19 grabs, 225 yards, 0 touchdowns. That long of 38, which happened in that Week 1 football game. But to me, can Brock Bowers be reinserted in the lineup? You get the extra time to be able to prepare, to be able to scheme up for him. But, if we can get that Week 1 version from him, I'm all in. These aren't right, so it's flipped. So his Week 1 stats, he had 103 yards, 20.6 yards per catch. Yeah, these are wrong. So Brock Bowers in Week 1, he ended up having 103 receiving yards. His yards per catch was 20.6. That long was 38 yards, and his yards per target was 12.9. When he was healthy from weeks 2 to 4, he played much, much worse. And it's because he didn't have that ability to stretch the field. He didn't have the ability to make the underneath routes, and he just didn't have the ability to really stretch the field. So I personally am sitting back here hoping that with a healthy Brock Bowers, it just really opens up this entire offense. And only time is going to tell if that's the truth. But to me, yes, it's easy to talk about the Brock Bowers impact, but it's also really, really important to talk about what he does from an entire offensive standpoint. Now, I do want to give a shout-out to our October Bang Race leaders. The Weldinator has been on a legendary tear, not only here at the Raider Sport over at Chat Sports, and honestly, even our Warriors show here at Chat Sports. But if you do not know, if you win the Bang Race, you get something very, very special from the Raiders Report. So, Weldinator, you're the MVP as it stands right now, and whoever bangs the most in the month of October, you're going to get something very, very special. Maybe I'll give you some Panda Subs because they are the sponsor on today's program. If there's anybody out there that's trying to be a better, healthier version of themselves, I want you to listen up, and I want you to listen up right now. Use code Raiders for 25% off at pandasups.com, and they got 3 brand new flavors here with the Sleepy 3.0. If you don't know what Sleepy 3.0 is, it's premium ingredients with transparent labeling formulated to help support sleep, quality, and daytime recovery. Tested and crafted to taste great without sacrificing effectiveness. I got citrus mango, green apple, mixed berry. It's going to help you fall asleep, stay asleep longer, promote relaxation, calm the mind at bedtime, improve sleep quality overall. To me, I have a hard time shutting off my mind, especially after a Raiders game. You take a scoop of the Sleepy, you're going to get yourself a great night's sleep. Also, since I've been doing so many late night shows, I get hungry. I want something sweet, but I don't want to eat something too late if it's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I got home yesterday after the World Series at about 3 a.m. Guess what? I wanted some food in my belly, and Panda Sup's got this brand new, and it's freaking awesome, man. Premium protein caramel ice cream crunch with caramel cookie gem inclusions. It is a limited edition. Is anybody like Biscoff cookies? If you like Biscoff cookies, there are Biscoff cookie inclusions in this protein. So when you're drinking it, you're going to be able to also get a little bit of a crunch. It's not, I hope that this example makes sense. When you drink a Bloody Mary, I know we're getting weird here, but when you drink a Bloody Mary, I like to chew on it. Like I want to be able to feel the tomatoes. I want to be able to chew on that Bloody Mary. I love protein from Panda Subs because you kind of get to chew on it while you drink it, and it does really, I think, make the entire experience a lot better. So if you need some brand new workout supplements from Panda Subs, pandasups.com, code Raiders for 25% off. And if you don't believe me, believe the guy that's banged more than anybody this entire month, Weldinator. Go to his Instagram. He's got multiple videos talking about how great Panda Subs really, truly is. Let's go to the fourth storyline here before the Jags game, and it's what adjustments will the Raiders make defensively with Lonnie Johnson Jr. back? He practiced on Monday, which is a great sign. He hasn't played all season long. Had a broken fibula, which happened earlier this offseason, and a lot of us were wondering, is he going to be able to go out there? Is he going to be able to play? In terms of him making an impact, though, when the Raiders went out there for that scrimmage game, you guys remember when the Raiders played against each other at Allegiant Stadium? Lonnie Johnson Jr., when he got hurt, was playing a lot of the big nickel. So they had Isaiah Pola-Mao, they had Jeremy Chin out there. They were playing Lonnie Johnson, though, in this big nickel role. I wonder what type of impact he's going to make, because I want the Raiders to make adjustments in that secondary. And we need more players who are better at simply just covering. The problem is, though, that's not really what Lonnie Johnson Jr. brings to the table. He's a really good special teams player. He's going to bring the good vibes. He's going to bring that energy. But when you really turn on the tape, and I'm not sitting up here saying PFF is the end-all, be-all, but the tape does match the coverage grade here of 46.5. And, there was a reason why he was basically a bench warmer and, not a heavily used player last season on a New Orleans Saints team, which, again, was not a very good football team. Their defense was a lot better, but because of his connections with Marcus Robinson, Joe Woods, he is going to get that opportunity to go out there and make an impact. But it's not only the impact that he makes, it's the impact of what the Raiders decide to do from an overall schematic standpoint, because they got to mix it up. And if they don't mix it up, I do really, really wonder what this organization is going to be doing heading forward, because you got to learn how to make some adjustments. Got to make some adjustments, defense. Let's go to the fifth and final storyline here. It's going to be, what type of impact will Tyler Lockett have on Geno Smith and this entire offense? The only way that I can sit up here and say that the signing of Tyler Lockett makes any sense based on where the Raiders are at as they stand right now, it's if it helps out the offense and if it helps out Geno Smith. Because this Raiders team, man, has been, boy, oh boy, hasn't been good. And when you really think about it from top to bottom, how bad that they've been, it's been a really, really big issue. And I know that Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith have that past history. And I know that they have those connections. But we haven't seen it be translated for the Las Vegas Raiders. And if Lockett goes out there and he makes this offense better, we're going to be cruising, right? We're going to be looking a lot better. We're going to be, I think, exactly where we want to be. But is that going to happen? I don't know. And when you look at the Raiders from a separation standpoint, again, I want to give credit to my guy, Tristan Kuhn. I said this stat the other day on this show, and it was just talking about Raiders wide receivers in terms of separation in the year 2025. Trey Tucker, he's fourth in the NFL right now. Jakobi Meyers, 28th in the NFL. Jack Bech, Dante Thornton, they technically don't qualify because they don't have enough routes to qualify. But if we're talking about just route separation and where they rank in the NFL, Tyler Lockett is worst out of any guy that we have on our roster. Now, this is also based on what he did in Tennessee. It's also based on that offense, and maybe it looks a little bit different. But I don't want people to think that we're getting a Tyler Lockett that we saw in Seattle. You're getting a lesser version of him. You're hoping that that chemistry can result maybe in some more first downs, some bigger plays, stretching the field a little bit. But to think that we're a Tyler Lockett away from fixing this offense, I don't think that that's the case. So go down in the comments section to predict it for me. How many receiving yards will Tyler Lockett have this week up against the Jacksonville Jaguars? I think if you're somewhere around 30 to 40, probably somewhere around 4 to 5 targets is, again, in my mind, where it's going to be. But I want to know what you guys have to say. How many receiving yards for Tyler Lockett down below? I will continue to say 4, 5 targets. Probably going to be somewhere around 30, 40 yards. There will be opportunities that are had. I do wonder if they try to force feed him a little bit because of some of the Jakobi Meyers trade rumors out there. If Jakobi doesn't play, this number goes up, and it will go up a little bit. But Tyler Lockett has to make Geno Smith better. Has to. That's why Tyler Lockett's signing has to make sense. If Tyler Lockett doesn't make Geno Smith better, it's only going to put a larger target on Geno's back. It's only going to put a larger target on Pete Carroll, and it's only going to put a larger target on Chip Kelly's back if Tyler Lockett does not help out this offense. Now, I put out a lot of content, and I know that. You guys can also always hit me up on IG. I'm on Twitter, at MitchellRens365. I also have been getting a bunch of cameos recently. If you don't know that I got a cameo, at MitchellRens365. Those, to me, are the top 5 biggest storylines going in to the Raiders' Week 9 game against the Jacksonville Jaguars.